I already have a website, so why am I making another website? It's too late to ask questions, good viber, because we're already on part 2 and we already designed the portfolio, and I'm already thinking of redesigning it, but that's okay. I think we're going to play around with the page today. We're also going to connect the domain name, and I think these are the little things that a lot of I don't see when I look, but it's so necessary when you're creating a website, connecting your domain name, buying a domain name, and all of this stuff. So that's what this video is going to be about. And yeah, I'm just here to create and to see what is being created and to allow it to be created and assist you and show you what's going on. Okay, so again, if you didn't see part 1 of creating a portfolio, totally check that out before you dive into this video. We'll have like a card or something. I'll see if I can do that. But yeah, so we're gonna dive into really finishing this portfolio, furnishing again those pages in order, and talking a little bit more about the structure of a portfolio, and again touching on why you would even need a portfolio in the first place. So let's just go through some of the steps, shall we? At this point, I've already discussed how and where to find a domain name. You can look at Google Domains, GoDaddy, so many different places to buy a domain. A domain is, what it is. That is the property for your house, which is your website. Your website can be hosted on lots of different hosting platforms like Wix, Squarespace, GoDaddy. There's so many. And for this sake of this video, I decided to create my website on a free hosting platform called Cargo. So Cargo, super cool, and it has been really fun to just play around with the design from the last part. Today we're really just gonna hone in on the technical stuff and the design, as well as just play around with the creativity and the flexibility that this website gives us. So yeah, let's get into it, shall we, fam? Okay, so let's get down to what a portfolio is. A portfolio is a collection of information that you display to others that you've invested over time. Typically, it is associated before the internet with a folder of loose-leaf papers with information about what you're either investing in or artwork or whatever you're creating and enjoy investing your time in. Now, with the age of internet, we can display our accomplishments and what we like to spend time on with our portfolio. Now, the good thing about portfolios is that virtually anyone can have a portfolio these days, as long as you have something that you've invested time in creating and are able to show that and just display your work to others. You can create a portfolio, and there's never been a better time, especially with everything that's going on, allowing yourself to really invest in what you're passionate about and create a place where other people who have similar interests can find you and look deeper into your work is so important. So enough dilly-dallying, let's just get into it. We're going to be working with setting up the domain name first, and I think this is something that a lot of people aren't familiar with because it's only something that you have to do once when you buy your domain name and you connect it to the web hosting platform that you're using to design your website. But it's super important nonetheless to make sure that you actually have the right keys to the house that you want. And now I'm jumping in here to talk a little bit about what the domain name is and how you actually buy your domain and connect it to your web host, okay? So very much the DNS or domain name system is a way that we get more ownership for our website, because we take all of those ones and zeros or that IP address and we can make it a actual word that we can remember and link it to our domain and our website. So this is a little tricky again, but is super important if you want a more professional website or web host that is not connected to a subdomain. So we're gonna set that up, and yes, I will just kind of, I guess, walk you through what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and I'm just gonna kind of go on time lapse. We're also gonna design the pages of what is just the bare minimum essential for this portfolio at this time. Okay, so now we're connecting the domain name. I just set up the books pages and gonna set up the domain. Then I'm going to set up the projects pages and then the about me. Maybe not in that order, but definitely just going to sit down, do a little bit more, and take my time and play around with it. I think that's a really important thing, is to play around and to be curious and make these mistakes early on with a general idea of what the final outcome is meaning to achieve. So for me, it's just being able to organize all of this information in a way that makes sense and is easy to navigate through. Okay, so it's really important that you know that you're not alone when you're setting up your DNS, okay, and making sure that it's actually secure. Okay, so I know that you're so excited to see how everything is coming along and check out the website. So you're gonna have to tune in to the last and final part 3 of this, where we finally launch it live and it will be up for you to see, my friend. So in that last part, we're gonna talk a little bit about how much it costs to keep a website up and running. Spoiler alert, not that much, but just keeping that in mind to make sure, and how we're also going to discuss how to actually receive revenue and different ways you can receive revenue from your little domain. So I'm really excited to jump into that next week and show you exactly how to kind of set up and optimize your website with a little SEO and more business tips like that. But for this video, I'm gonna have to call it a day. I'm really excited with the progress I made, and the moral of the story is that it's okay to make mistakes, allow yourself to explore, and know that no one actually knows what they're doing when they first start making a website or coding or anything like that. But the more curious you can get and the more you can play around, the easier and funner it will be, and the better your website will come out. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Press a thumbs up if this helped and inspired you to create your own, and share your website with me down below.